I wanted to finish it with a question to both of you, but more to Gary. You've got an audience of 19 to 22-year-olds approximately, thinking about what they're going to do next and how they can impact the world. And I wanted you to finish with a message about that and what you can do in this day and age versus when you started in terms of making an impact.
Yeah, and this comes up a lot, in terms of what people are asking, what can they do? Because this is a huge issue of our day. And I guess I would start by saying, I talked before about finding the intersection of your passion and the world's greatest need. I think that's a question all of us should ask ourselves. And that vocation that you have might be water. Probably not, right? It might be some other big development issue. It might be raising a family in the best way that you can, or doing whatever job the best way you can, if that's where your passion is. But I'd also say that never has it been easier as an individual and a young individual to have an outsized impact on a social issue. I think the fact that this whole concept that there's degrees and kind of minors and conferences all organized around social impact and social entrepreneurship, there's actually a network and a body of literature and academics to plug into to prepare you to take on whatever social challenge you feel you need to do. That's very different than 1990, pre-internet, when basically I had a mailing list of people to invite to a dinner. The power of Kickstarter and other things like that are out there to help you if you have a solid idea that can solve an issue, and to be able to raise the startup funds for that. It's never been more powerful. And I just look at even rewinding another generation to my father, who grew up during the Depression, and he was a telephone man. He climbed telephone poles. He never had the luxury of thinking about the possibility of quitting his job. His job was to climb the telephone poles so that he could put food on the table, and so that he could raise his 5 kids, and his universe of trying to help was his kids, right? He didn't have that luxury. So that whole evolution, that I got to go to college because of him, and I was able to kind of reach out and work at this issue. And now to see my daughter, who's a sophomore at St. Louis University, her whole existence right now is trying to figure out public health and how she can give back to this. And so it's just completely changed and evolved. I think what this country has done in terms of building the economic base, the stability, the skills, so that we have the luxury to stop, to think, and figure out how do we give back to the world. And I tell you, if you think about this and find it's the right path, I think that you'll look back and say, you could look back and say, was I more satisfied by doing this, or would it have been more satisfying if I went to work to try to figure out how to figure out, the 6th generation iPhone? What would you rather have be your legacy as you look back on this? So I know it's not right for everyone, but you can make a living at it now. There's this really permeability between the nonprofit and the for-profit sector. You can kind of go into one and work for a while and spill over into the other. I mean, all the applicants we had for our COO candidate, the overwhelming majority of them were coming from the private sector. So there's lots of paths to this, and the important thing is to find out what's best for you and what works with your passion, and go for it.